doxing or something on a larger scale and saying explicitly that you disavow it, like, I think that there's an understanding that those things are far more extreme. So there's much, 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 much less likely for people to see that and get any ideas from it, right? I think when it's smaller stuff like trolling or, mild, if you want to call trolling mild harassment, or like, saying the N-word in the chat, I think that it's more likely because it's, pretty...
Guys, call this person's mother. Is that what you're asking me? Hello, boys. How's it going?
It's doing just fine, dude. Yeah, I mean, overall, that doc was stinky. It was ass. And
I'm sure.
I mean, a lot of it was pretty much just the same shit that he's been saying. And I mean, nothing really of substance. There was one thing that I let's just kind of start out. So there's one thing that I was just confused about that I wanted a little bit of illumination on, and that was like the Solace situation. I was hoping that you could kind of walk me through that, because the way that he does it is just like very confusing and doesn't really make any sense. So I figured that you could probably do it a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you I do like her. I think she's how do I say it? I respect her despite the bullshit that happened. But what I will simplify it as, and you tell me if this satisfies it for you. But she like a lot of people, somebody who has personal struggles, and maybe her state of mind isn't always the best, like everybody. Basically, long story short, when Glass doxed my girlfriend, he doxed her and leaked her like old nudes and OnlyFans stuff, and it caused her to have a breakdown of some sorts. And he kind of like, I don't know what the fuck he did to her, but he like gaslit her, and like somehow he came into my server and made a ticket on an alt account doxing her, and she saw the ticket because she was modding there, and convinced her that it wasn't him. And she then went to him to like confide in him. Like, it was like a really manipulative thing he did, where like he convinced her that it was somehow my fault that was happening. And so, like, long story short, he doxed her, humiliated the shit out of her, and then like manipulated her into thinking that he was on her side somehow. And then when that didn't work, he started obviously berating her and calling her like a dumb slut and retard and schizo and shit like that. So that's like the surface level version of it. I don't know if that answers the question.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, I was just confused about the situation itself because of the way that he depicted it, because it was pretty obviously like skewed.
Yeah. Well, it was a gross thing he did. I mean, if you actually know the truth about everything that happens, you'll see that it's just him being gross and horrible as a human.
Yeah.
Kind of like with my girlfriend as well. Like, the thing he likes to ignore, he tries to act like it was out of concern, but he doesn't explain like why he was in my chat, like saying her legal name and stuff like that. So it wasn't like and something I've seen people point out is like, if you were concerned that he was abusing her, why are you like revealing it to him? Like, isn't that just going to get her, like you didn't try reaching out to her to like make sure she was safe or something? But of course, you're thinking about it too deeply if you're already there. It was nothing more than just an attack on, people close to me.
Right. Okay. I think my other, like, kind of on the lighter end of things, my other question would be like about like this business of, I mean, I recognize that this was like a while ago, so I'm not necessarily thinking that you still hold to this, but like this whole thing of like kind of encouraging, you did it implicitly, right? Like, you didn't do it directly. You were implicitly encouraging people to kind of report Glass's account. Is that something that you still stand by, or like what was kind of the thought process there?
Well, I do believe, I mean, you look at it like, I don't think YouTube allows what he's doing. I think if people remembered that, I mean, because it's happened before. He was on a stream, like, I forget exactly what he was saying. He was saying some horrible stuff about like Stronzina. And somebody on my stream was like, hey, he's saying this horrible shit, go report him. Like, that wasn't me, but it actually got his stream like taken down. And I think a lot of people, they just watch the horrible shit going on and don't actually take action, when I genuinely believe that he should be banned off the platform. And I think that if people actually were reporting the content that he posts regularly, that I believe violates YouTube's TOS, he'd probably be deleted by now. Not to mention that he is already ban evading on YouTube, because he already has a suspended YouTube account. But
yeah, I mean, I think the issue for me like comes more to the fact that, like, as much as I hate to say it, that weird like lolcow guy that has like a 300-page like Kiwi Farms page, like the Chungus guy or whatever the fuck his name was, Chungus, who like was critical of you. I do think he's right, and the fact that like, you know, and this is something you can take or leave, right? Like I'm not saying this even really to be like overly critical. It's more just like, you know, my whole thing is when it comes to stuff like this, if you do all of it like above board, you know, there's no real room to criticize you and give Glass like charity. Whereas, like, kind of this, regardless of your intentions here, what you did was technically brigading, and would be against YouTube COS. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, people should report Urghbla for like brigading. No, I'm not saying that at all.
I get what you're saying in a literal sense, but no, I reached out to support about it before because I felt like the situation with this dude is like beyond like normal means or something at this point.
Yeah. Well, and those are actions that you can absolutely take, right? Like that's the right way to go about it.
And they literally told me like, oh yeah, no, we need multiple people to report. I'm like, okay, so you're saying I should tell people to report them? And they didn't want. I don't remember exactly what was said, but what they said to me was literally like, yeah, I mean, the people got to report them. If people don't report them, you know, they were like tiptoeing around it. I'm like, okay, like obviously I get the idea of like, hey, I have 1 million subscribers. Let me go and delete this person's channel by like telling people to report it. Okay. I get like that would be a bad thing. But yeah, no, the way that I don't know if I have an email the conversation or whatever, but the way they literally told me it was pretty much is what they were telling me. I'm like, okay, this is what they're fucking literally telling me to do. Because I mean, let me ask you honestly, do you think the shit that he's posting is something that should be allowed on the platform? Like, look at his posts, like just the posts alone.
I mean, from everything I've heard about it, I mean, some of it, like, I don't really care about words, to be honest. Like, I don't care if you're like being mean to somebody. But like, you know, in regards to, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm pretty split. I'm usually for, like, accounts staying. I'm pretty hardlined about it. Like, I'll admit that my take is pretty extreme.
Well, okay, but what about in the sense of, like, the amount of times that the dude has called me, like, a pedophile? Like, just straight up.
Sure.
Like, that is, like, just blatantly, you know.
No, I can completely understand how that would piss you off, right? Like, I mean.
Well, it doesn't piss me off. It's just, like, this guy is spreading the shit, and I would think that would be like a direct violation. I mean, you know, not even just like YouTube shit, but I would think like legally there's some questionable things going on there by doing that as well.
Certainly legally, yeah. I mean, there's definitely like potential legal consequences if you chose to pursue it.
Right.
But I mean, that's kind of why we have those legal avenues. Is kind of what my response would be, right? Like, I don't know. I'm a little split on it. Like, I understand where you're coming from with it. At the same time, like, purely from a criticized perspective, like a criticizable perspective, I think it's just better to just do things like above board. If you like, I'm not doubting that you got that like correspondence from like a YouTube rep or whoever it was that said that. But I've never heard of that before. I mean, if they were saying like a wink wink nudge nudge sort of thing, then sure.
That's how it came off to me. Like I said, it was. I don't even know how long ago that happened. It was like probably a couple of years ago at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't even know.
Do you have any memory of like what Glass was roughly saying about like Stronzina? Like, what are we kind of like talking about here for unhinged stuff?
I won't say it like as harshly as he did, but I'm pretty sure he was saying he was gonna like R-word her and stuff. Like he was saying some like really crazy like. You know, if there's shit that's gonna get your like stream taken down, he was saying it like he's like, oh, I would fucking bend her, you know, like it was some crazy shit like that.
Okay,
sure,
yeah, okay.
I personally feel like that gets into a gray area because it's like, I mean, you guys are in like the VR chat trolling niche. I feel like there's a lot of groundwork that you have that you guys use for insults for people to fuck with them. So it's like when we talk about using that as a justification to like terminate someone's channel, it gets into a really weird gray area, in my opinion.
Well, I think context is important with a lot of things. Like,
I don't disagree.
You know, yeah, I think like saying you're gonna like sexually assault somebody is like, I don't know, is that a joke? I don't know.
Well, did you think that he was actually gonna like touch Stronzina or something?
I don't think he has the means to actually do it, but I think he would do it. Like if she was in front of him and it would make sense. I'm pretty sure he would go.
Okay, bro.
I mean, look. My you know, like I'm not trying to get gotcha here, but like to use your own like sort of logic here. Like you saying that context is important, doesn't that apply to you as well? Like, I mean, there are multiple times in which you've completely obfuscated the context of Glass, like you say that he's a child predator, and you don't like note the fact that like with, I mean, of course, with some of these, you have arguments for him either having known or etc. But like with some of these, there have been examples of you kind of just saying he's a child predator without giving any of the context around it, and
Well,
like being.
I mean, how many times have I said that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to tell the glass story every time I summarize the fact that he's a pred, right?
I guess. I mean.
Like, you know, I didn't really look too much at the
Okay.
document, but I know he is. I know one of the parts on there is like showing how many times he was mentioned.
Sure, which obviously
so-
you guys talk about each other a lot, but obviously when
Well,
you say
not
something
anymore,
like,
but yeah,
well,
except for now.
yeah, but when we're retelling the story, I get that, sometimes, maybe minor details could be left out, but when you say things like he was sexting minors, leaving out the part that he thought that they were 18, that
Yeah,
could be
that's
very
pretty charged.
disingenuous.
Right.
I mean, I get that from like the standpoint of like literally there's more to it than that, of course. But most of the time when I'm saying stuff like that, I'm assuming that, I mean, if I were to go on my server right now and say, yeah, Glass is a pred, I think most people would know, without that context. I'm not like putting out
Right.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
all the
because
people who come to him and like call him a child predator, like I almost think kind of show the opposite of that, right? Where it's like they're also obfuscating that context, right? Where it's like
I
it
don't
spreads
think it's
to a point.
because yeah, I don't think it's because people are misinformed. I think it's because, I mean, at least for me, I don't have a tolerance for what he's done. I think it was negligent beyond like excusable, right? I guess is one way to word that.
But you could
so
like
for me, yeah. Go ahead.
sorry, no, you finish, then I'll go.
No, that's pretty much it. I was just saying, like, I think a lot of people feel the same way, where it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and give you any like, most people are saying it out of anger or like, I assume, like frustration, anger, whatever. Like, but yes, I think most people know the truth. I mean, everything that I published, as far as like, like the document I made, that's something that I took a lot of time aside to try to represent the
Right.
facts and like actually show screenshots and let
My-
it kind of speak for itself.
My thing would be when you're a predator hunter that holds some weight, like you do. Like it's important to be like precise with your wording, especially when it comes to very charged terms like predator, pedophile, etc. And like my thing about it is like I feel like there's a much simpler term to put it in, which would be like, I mean, it's clear sex pest behavior. It's clear like extreme recklessness to the point of like negligence, where he is potentially like a threat to like people, right? Like I would be totally fine with all of that.
The
right?
issue I have with everything you said there is that none of that actually mentions the actual children involved. So, like, can you give me a version of what you're saying that actually, like, I understand at the same time you're not trying to say more than it is, but I feel like the way you just described it does not actually do it justice. That's the issue I always have when people try to say, call him a sex pest, not a predator. I don't think that's fair. I think, I think as I said to Ace last time, when I think of a sex pest, I think of some guy at like a bar being like, hey, do you want to have sex? And like poking at a girl or something. Like that's like sex pesty. But that doesn't mean he was, doing it to a kid or whatever. But,
Right.
I get what
Right,
you
but
mean.
would you be worried though that calling him a predator in the context of being a danger to minors could lead to people thinking that he's like a pedophile though, right?
When you, like, am I worried about that? Like,
I mean, I don't
Like,
know. I don't know why you'd say worried, but I
yeah,
think.
give me like,
No, not worried.
Do you understand
Um,
how that would result in that? Because
understand.
it has.
Sure.
Because it has, right?
well, see, but that gets into like people say pedophile, like if we're being correct, like pedophile is like prepubescent, right? People just say, oh, you're a pedophile because you're a 30-year-old that had sex with a 17-year-old. Like that's how people will say that. So it's like, well, are we using it literally for pedophile, but then not for predator? Or I don't know. It's like a confusing...
Well, and that's kind of where I come back to what you said, or what I was saying earlier about like you being a predator hunter that holds some weight. I think that you would acknowledge too that like because of that, I think it's important to be precise with your language here, and like. I understand what you're saying about like not mentioning the kids, but that's why I think it's important to be like, yeah, he, like ended up sexting minors without knowing it, and because he never age checks and he's super reckless with this shit, or that he didn't, recognize the birth certificate or whatever you believe about the birth certificate, etc. But like again, like one of the things that you said, like and have said in the past is like, it comes to a point where intentionality doesn't matter, and I completely disagree with that, right? Because I mean. there's a reason that we have distinctions legally between manslaughter and murder, and it's all about intentionality, right? Obviously, I'm using an extreme example, but like I think that this applies to, in a greater sense, to anything that can kind of result in life ruination as a whole.
Okay, well, I mean, I know you're not. I know your argument isn't about like legal terminology, but I think that also plays into what I was saying about the difference between predator and sex pest, right? Because like, okay, if Glass were to be held legally accountable for what, I mean, I guess it depends on certain, but let's just say he was actually charged for what he did in these instances. What would they charge him for?
He
Like,
would have
wouldn't
to.
it be like
He would have to.
child
Well,
for
no, because he would
type
have
of
to.
laws?
He would. I mean, in most cases, as long as he's able to demonstrate, because I've looked into this before because of a different case with Parlo, who I don't know if you know anything about that and the dupe situation,
No.
but the point is, like, I looked into both the EU law concerning it and the American law concerning it, and what it would boil down to is whether or not there is a reasonable doubt as to the person's age, right? So with somebody like Swan, everyone around Swan thought that they were 18. With somebody like, this, I can't remember, who was the one who showed the birth certificate? Was that Ghost? Or was that somebody else?
Yes,
Ghost.
supposedly.
With Ghost, it was, supposedly whatever. Like, there was the birth certificate. With the other, I mean, what was the deal with the other minor?
The Joy one, the 15.
Yeah.
That was just him like flirting with her after she claims and shown that she said she was 15 and he doesn't read it. But to answer your question, you said it depends on like a reasonable doubt. I mean, that is kind of where I get into like, so Swan told him like, hey, if you come over, you gotta keep the door open because my mommy's here. Like when you're like that, to me isn't like I don't know, you look at that, it's like, okay, this is not sounding like somebody that's an adult.
But
like,
there are 18-year-olds who still live with their parents, and if
even then,
this
it's like-
birth certificate was shown, then there is that reasonable doubt, right? Like that would be
well,
the key
you're
to the
mixing up
reasonable
multiple
doubt.
ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, who did you say?
you're
Swan?
mixing up
Did you
Swan
say
and
Swan?
Ghost. Yeah.
You said Swan.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
sorry. I got
No, you're good.
confused. Okay, so in the Ghost thing, that was when the whole mommy thing was okay. Or
birth
sorry, the
certificate.
Swan.
Yeah.
Okay, in the Swan thing, that was when the mommy. But again, I think the reasonable doubt would come into play with the fact that the entire friend group thought that they were an 18-year-old. And again, you can live with your mom at 18, like many people do it, right?
I don't know. Not to what you're saying. I'm thinking about what you said about like everybody thinking she was 18. I mean, I never really talked to her that much, so I can't really like.
Well, when Morale and I
I
did
don't
that
think
stream back in 2024 and had a lot of Swan's friend group on, all of them did attest to the fact that
Right,
they
right.
did think that she was 18.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they can
Yep.
speak for themselves, but for me personally, I can't say I was ever.
Well, right, but
I would have never been like for sure on that. Personally.
and that's perfectly understandable. Like I think that we can all agree that like all of us would have operated with that completely differently, right? We can all agree on that.
for sure.
But that's not the issue. The issue is more the fact that there was this reasonable doubt in play. And
like
again,
Swan did pretend to be 18.
right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of how to conclude this because I don't know. I don't know if we would ever really see exactly eye to eye on this. I mean, I get what you're saying and I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying for me personally, all things considered, I think it's the totality of everything he's done in all of these situations is not acceptable to me. Now, I'm not gonna like pinpoint exactly where it's crossed the line, but everything like all together somewhere along the way, to me, it's become unacceptable to the point where I don't give him that reasonable doubt anymore.
Well, and I can perfectly understand like the unacceptable thing. Like I completely agree, it's unacceptable. Like the level of recklessness, the level of just like insanity, sex pestery, whatever you want to say, is absolutely unacceptable. I would completely agree with that. But it's just like again, it's the terminology. It's almost like a semantical argument here. Just as I'm not okay with him calling you a non-sexual groomer because we know what the implication of that is. You know what I mean? Like even when he specifies non-sexual groomer, we all know the connotation that all of us get when we hear the word groomer, right? Like, first of all, obviously there's no evidence to this like non-sexual grooming in the first place, so it's bullshit. But even regardless of that fact, even if there was evidence of you like manipulating Swan or some bullshit like that, which there isn't. But even if there was, then I still wouldn't be okay with this label of groomer, because we automatically associate that as a sexual thing. And in that same way, like, I'm not going to, like, because I'm holding the standard both ways. I'm not necessarily going to co-sign like you calling him a sexual predator or a like pedophile without having that context in mind. Because of the association, the immediate colloquial association attached to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying from an intent standpoint, and kind of what I said with Ace was like, for me, my focus is on the impact, right? Like, if Glass is trying his darndest to, only go after like barely 18-year-olds, like, good for him. I'm glad that you're trying, but at the end of the day, there's actual victimization happening, and
Sure.
my mindset and my entire argument is based solely on the fact that him trying and being a negligent dumb fuck doesn't change the fact that that happened. You know what I mean?
And
we're not going to change how the impact being bad.
Well,
You're not going to get a disagreement.
Neither of us are disputing that in the slightest. Both of us are going to completely agree that, like, in the end, there is still a victimization of minors. That is completely correct, and we would completely agree with that. It's more of the fact that, like, when it comes, it's the same criticism that I would give Glass to a much larger extent, right? Where, like, even when he says things that could potentially be criticizable with you, he astroturfs it with a million things and does it in a way where it just results in not even, being criticizable of you and wanting to give you as much charity as possible, because he does it in such a bad faith way, right? Like, I'm not saying that you're doing that to nearly the extent that he is, but like, it's a miniature version of that criticism that I would give for Glass, where it's like, I think if you did this all above board, Glass is just at the bottom of the fucking ocean, with even like people like me or Ace or any of these other people in like the commentary community, where we're going to give as much charitability as possible to other people, right? If you do it above board, I think it's just over, right?
I mean, I'm sure you would agree, most people don't like break things down to this level. I think most people would see what Glass did and say he's a child predator. I think that, and if you disagree with that, that's fine. But do you agree that probably most people would probably like have that takeaway of the situation, knowing the facts? Like,
especially when you refer to him as a pedophile. I mean, the thing is, people want to be told what to believe when it comes to communities like this. I think that you would agree with that, right? Like, I mean, I think that we, well, more so somebody like you who has some swinging power. I'm the tiny little shitter, okay? I don't have a lot of swinging power, but somebody like you who does have swinging power, you kind of get to be the arbiter of this. You kind of get to be the person who defines what the label is, right? And so in that way, I think that if you kind of made an effort to, like, care about the way that you're labeling this, then I think that people would care a little bit more. But I think when there's a lack of care around the way that you're labeling things like this, then there's less likely to be a care around it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I just disagree. Like, I mean, that's how I feel about it, and I would happily be completely transparent about that.
Sure.
Like, I think people should make up their own minds on things. That's kind of the approach I've taken these days when I talk about things. Yeah. I don't really care if people have the same takeaway as me or not. Like, I'm down to present things, and I'm gonna have my take on it. But I think everybody should just come up with their own conclusion. And
I'm totally fine with, on this point particularly, having an agree to disagree sort of thing. That's totally fine.
And I do think it does kind of come down to like semantics in a way, even though it's not that simple. Yeah. But I think we all kind of feel the same way about it. We just have like
different ways of saying it.
Yeah, it's intent versus impact. Sure. We all agree that the impact's bad. We just probably would argue all day on intention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So then I had somebody in chat asking, did you ever file a police report against Glass?
Do you mean like for the minors or just like in general?
I guess both.
I won't address much about like personally, but as far as like the minor situation, I've contacted the police on that, and that's not something that I can do. Whenever there's actual victims involved, the police need to actually speak with the victims, and if they're not willing to travel to his local police department, there's a good chance they're not going to address it.
Okay.
That's just kind of how the police operate.
Okay.
And I think with at least Swan, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it to her that she would need to do that. But I'm pretty sure the conversation was literally like, hey, you would have to go to his local police department. And she was like, yeah, that's not happening. Cause obviously, Like
Right.
it's such a hassle
Sure.
for that shit.
Sure. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But to answer your
Ace.
question, I have tried. I mean, like I said, it kind
Yeah.
of yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Ace, I think you had another question, and then if you have any other questions, and then I kind of want to get into like my biggest disagreement. But I want us to kind of like go up as we're going, if that makes sense. I think that's the
Yeah.
best way to go about it.
So just to like have a conversation about this, because I was sent something while streaming, right? While this was streaming, because I
So-
think we had a chat about the whole holding back evidence with the Joy thing, and
Yeah.
I believe that you said it was a baseless claim, right?
Right.
So what I was sent here, and Hippleton, if you want to screen share and
Yeah,
show
I'd love
this,
to.
I was given a community post. This was
Morales,
apparently, yeah.
Morales sent this to you, didn't he?
I don't really have Mrau added, so probably someone sent it to him to send.
Okay. Listen. I'm gonna
mhm.
explain the post before you even read it. It's a waste of everybody's time. Okay. I've already explained this to Morales' dumbass. So if he sent this to you, I mean, Morales is a big liar, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just is still trying to maliciously forward shit. But that said, this post, as I explained to Mrau already, was essentially me going into ChatGPT and saying, "Hey, make a post that is like really long-winded and like thinking it's talking about something, but not actually say anything of substance." That was like somewhat the extent of the prompt I gave it. I mean, you can literally see the fucking M dashes in there. Like, it's the most AI dog shit ever. I actually deleted it. Or is this deleted or is this up?
No, it's still
No,
up.
it's still up.
Oh shit. Okay, well I did a few of these because one of
Okay,
them,
bro.
like somebody actually commented on it saying like, "Hey, I'm so sorry," and I realized like people were taking it serious, so I ended up deleting one of them at least. Or maybe it is this one. Look in the comments if I responded saying I was joking. Maybe not. Maybe I deleted it. Oh wait, maybe that one. Oh yeah, there
You
you
do
go.
say this is a ChatGPT bait post. To be fair to you, yeah.
Yeah. So nothing. I didn't write a single word of that post.
So just to be very clear, you stand by nothing in that post, right? Just to
I
be
don't even know
crystal
what it
clear.
says, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
But
Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because it says something along the lines of you saying like the real stuff is the stuff that's not even out yet. So like
Yeah.
obviously I'm gonna
yeah,
be
no,
like, okay, well,
that's just coincidental because I mean I see
I mean,
Glass was mentioned in there, so I probably mentioned like give me like a post about someone named Glass, but like make it hint that there's like something of substance, but don't actually say anything of substance and make it like really long-winded and waste everybody's time. Like
right.
that was pretty much the extent of the prompt that I gave it. But I mean, you could, like I said, you could literally tell it's ChatGPT. Like there's a shit ton of dashes in there.
Okay, well, I mean,
I
if you're
didn't
saying
change
that you
any of
don't,
it.
yeah, if you're saying that you don't stand by anything of it, because obviously the natural concern I would have had is like, well, the real stuff that matters is the stuff that's not even out yet, and I would have been like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
what the fuck,
I-
like,
I-
but
I mean,
can
I
see why
can.
it would look that way, but
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I can still see how people would come to that conclusion of like this
Yeah.
is you're
yeah, that's
withholding
my problem.
evidence, right?
I do a lot of like trolling in the midst of like serious stuff, so it's always kind of it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like the
Right.
best combo because like I do care about things and I obviously do like very serious shit, but I'm also not that serious of a person.
Sure.
So
Sure.
sometimes they intertwine in a bad way.
I mean, if you did say that it's literally Chat GPT, then yeah, sure, I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess like another thing, can you explain why you sent Glass's DMs like docs directly to his DMs?
Oh yeah, that was because he was I think he was questioning me about the BBC thing and I was being like very genuine with him. Like I was like, "Yeah, dude, like look, I'll actually respond to what you're saying." And that's another thing like that it's stupid like when he brings it up because he acts like I never like take accountability for it and I literally did in the DMs with him in those messages. But once I realized that he was like just trying to twist shit out of context to get like some screenshot, I just went and like randomly edited like random DMs from me to like put his docs in there so he didn't like post it, like extract and post out of context or something like that.
Oh,
Because I'm like, oh, this guy likes to like take shit out of context. I'm just gonna randomly edit his information into it so he doesn't do that.
So you're
I
like,
mean,
kind of
clearly-
thought
but
process.
do you see how like almost in that way you're like giving him a W? Like you're being like,
Yeah.
oh, let me put like incriminating information in here so that if he ever does do
See, but
this,
here's
and,
the
like,
thing: I gave him the W by giving him a chance because he lied and he was trying to. I mean, as he's been doing. Like I probably had the DMs. I actually exported our DMs like a while ago. Let me see.
But to be fair, you gave him ammo on like a silver platter, like
Yeah.
True. Yeah, but it's out of context though, as usual, so it's fine.
Even with the context, though, right? Like,
Like-
you could still be like, "Oh, he has my docs."
Right.
Well, no
Yeah,
shit.
you-
I mean, I read his Kiwi Farms. Honestly, not in the doxing sense, but I actually encourage people that actually care about the truth to look at that because they have been documenting it throughout the entire process, and they know all the bullshit that he pulls. Like, I understand why you guys would look at a doc and be like, "Oh, like what the fuck is this?" Like, they already know. Like in fact, if you're gonna waste time reading a 400-page document by him, just go read his fucking thread. Like, you'll get actually unbiased, takes in there. Now, albeit, you might get some like schizo theories, but I think it's good to ignore those and just look at the evidence for the most part.
I mean, I don't know, because like that's just like because yeah, you do that in the DMs, and then you like added everyone for like his alt account on Facebook. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you would like kind of just throw in like his PII there, because that would
That wasn't
definitely
even his name. It was fucking Tom Johnson.
okay. Well, it was censored like it was his name, so fair enough. But
No, his name is not Tom Johnson.
well, don't
Yeah.
say his real name.
Well,
Just saying it.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
we
it was-
talked about this earlier. I mean, he kind of,
Still.
I'm not condoning it, but I mean, he did it to himself there. I mean, like most recently,
Sure.
he has his own full name in the doc, Urghbla. So like in one of the clips. So I
Well,
mean,
if-
he's
to
essentially
be fair-
publicizing his own docs there.
To be fair, if that's not even his real name and he censored it, then yeah, that's just Glass being malicious.
Yeah, it's him. Well, it's also.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be him being malicious. Could also be him being stupid. I mean, either one is very possible, right? At this point.
Sure.
What is just on a broader scale? What is your opinion about doxing somebody like Glass, or spreading the docs about someone like Glass? I should say.
I would say that I think generally speaking, well, the internet's stupid as fuck. I think when you make things personal, I think it's pretty fucking stupid. For the most part, right? I definitely understand why people would dox him and why he was doxed. I think I personally feel he should only ever have horrible things, right? And I think you can understand why I'd feel that way. But generally speaking, I don't think that's good. If it were up to me, I think everything would have been kept to just, actual behaviors, not like, oh, you made me angry. I'm going to go and leak your friend's nudes or your girlfriend stuff or go find your family, right? I don't like that. So
Have you ever publicly
Right.
posted to his Kiwi Farms page?
probably.
So I mean, isn't that a form of spreading a dox though?
Um,
Because it has his full name in it.
I guess you could say that.
I mean, it's his full name.
Yeah, if it's in there, then sure, it's doxing indirectly,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, it's the title of it. It's his full name.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that. Okay, yeah, you're right.
the first
I
thing you
guess
see.
that's true. I've like totally just zoned that out at this point. But yeah, you're right. My reasoning is kind of like what I just said to you. Like, they are literally just the best source of information. So when you have this guy who is, I mean, like I said, I haven't talked. I don't even know the last time I talked to this guy. I've made efforts to just not. But it's everywhere. It's pretty bad. Either people mention it or, yeah, it's like, it's a big joke to everybody. There's no escaping it seems. But, personally, I prefer to not talk about it as much as possible because I think it gives credibility to the stupid shit he says. And in order to actually like explain the entire situation, I believe that the Kiwi Farms is like the best source of information. And it's like he's made it like, I mean, it's been going on now for nearly like fucking 3 years. So it's like I can't sit here and like answer questions or like go over shit that happened years ago or like try to explain what's going on when people are confused or he's because you have to realize.
But
I put
isn't
my
that the
document
point?
like, yeah.
Isn't that the point of your like evidence document?
Well, yes.
So
I
then
also
couldn't
linked
you
the
just
Kiwi
send
Farms in
people?
that.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's like, couldn't you just put the information that's in the Kiwi Farms into a document that's like a master doc, so you can respond to anybody with that like document
No,
without
dude,
doxing
there's
him?
too much shit, man. There's too much shit on there. Listen, they
Well, you're
dox
just
me on
focused on
there
the
as well
important
too.
stuff,
Listen, I'm
right?
doxing myself by promoting that also. So it's like whatever.
Well,
It's a
much
wash
more
at that point.
indirectly, right? You're not on the
Yeah,
front
sure.
page of it. You're not on the title of it, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm on there though.
yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, if you're
No,
gonna disavow
listen, I
doxing,
agree.
then I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
Yeah.
that.
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, doxing is a malicious act, and intentionally, like you're maliciously spreading the information. I could play the semantic game here and say I'm not doing it because I want people to go and harass him on a personal level. But if you're gonna keep making like multiple posts and lying about me and essays every single day, like I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna sit here and defend every single stupid post he makes or
But
because
I understand, but like intentionality shouldn't only matter when you're the one doing it, right? Like you're not giving Glass the charitability of intentionality. So
okay, we're talking about something completely different though. We're talking about like actually victimizing a kid, right?
so you're saying that intentionality only matters at a lesser scale? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think if you were bringing my argument up about it being intentional with the predator thing, or are you just saying in a general sense?
Like in a generalistic sense, like is your standard that intentionality only matters on lesser acts? Like if it gets to a greater point where it's like, murder or like, child molestation or something, then intentionality doesn't matter. But if it's like doxing, then it does matter.
No, but I just think like here's the thing, right? I wouldn't have a reason to talk about this if he wasn't like lying about me on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like, why are we here right now, right? I don't want to be talking about this. I don't care about this at
Well,
this
I can
point.
understand that.
Like,
I completely
yeah.
agree with that. Like I will be the first person to say that this guy is completely obsessed with you, like buck broken about you. Okay, but like I mean, again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like doing things above board. Like I don't understand how that necessitates the involvement of his docs, right?
Well, I agree. It's unfortunate that the best source of information is also arguably a malicious source, right? But the truth is, the Kiwi Farms has it better than anybody as far as like actual information. I mean, the dude's been schizoing for 3 years now. I am not putting a document together like of everything that took place. Like, if you really want to know why things are the way they are, you can go read the 400 pages on there. Like, it's kind of that. That's just what it is at this point. You know what I mean? That's the only place that actually has everything, for the most part. Obviously, not everything literally, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. I guess we're kind of at another agree to disagree kind of standpoint there. So you were saying earlier like that, kind of it going so low was something that you didn't want and don't approve of, right? Like in terms of like this dispute and like obviously how long it's gone, of course, but like just how low it's gone in terms of like the spreading of stuff or like how do you feel about like getting someone's family involved when it comes to something like this?
I don't think his family should be like harassed or anything like that. If that's what you're asking me.
So then, but then in that case, why did you spend like 4 minutes talking about his mom and saying that you wanted his mom on and, talking about how your next goal is to have his mom on and then responding to somebody in chat who said they were going to look for his mom and saying that you wanted them to do that so you could have his mom on?
Well, I've actually I don't remember the specific conversation.
I can pull up the clip.
I believe you. I'm not saying I believe you, but that doesn't sound like a serious thing. But I will say, not all of it. I will say that I am very interested in the dynamic there, and I absolutely would talk to his mother the same way you would with like a disobedient child who's doing things he shouldn't be. Like as a mother, I don't understand why he would but I don't understand how his mother would like tolerate him sitting there like threatening like rape women like every day when he's late 20s at this point. So yeah.
Okay, but two things on that point. Do you not understand how that's getting the mom involved? And also, you described the mom at certain points as culpable in Glass's behavior after a certain point.
I would
so do you
agree,
not
yeah.
understand how that would potentially like turn into harassment towards his mother?
I can understand that in a sense of like just speaking on it, but that's not my intention. Like it's the same thing where people are like, dude, you're harassing somebody on VR chat, you're trolling them and they got doxxed because of you. It's like, well, these things happen, right? Sometimes people are like, you got to put a disclaimer in your video to not dox or disclaimers, this and that. I've never done that because I found it to be pretentious for the most part.
But you
And it doesn't
directly, like, even if you're going to say that you're not super serious or that's not your intention, you directly interact with a chatter where you encourage them to look for his mom's information in order to get in touch with her.
I don't. Okay, if that happened, that's not what I wanted. I don't even know who you're talking about. I've never
Well, then
talked
you
to that
shouldn't
person.
have said it, though. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't have interacted with that chatter and said that. Like, that's
Okay.
the problem. Like, I mean, if that's not your intention, then you shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I have this. I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about, but
I can show you the clip.
no, I'm saying I believe you, but you're like talking to me about something, like one thing that happened that I don't remember.
But
So I
but
can't really.
Well,
do you want me to jog
that's-
your memory? Like that's my thing. Like I mean,
Well,
you're
that's-
Well, I already
Yeah,
answered though.
Well,
like, what
no,
do
to
you
be fair though, right? Like if you don't know what he's talking about, like wouldn't it just be easier just to like see the clip to see exactly what you
want, if you want to show me it, sure. I don't think it makes a difference though, because
Well, but you're saying things like if it did happen and stuff like that, and that wasn't my intention. Whereas, like, I think all intentionality is thrown out the window when you have that interaction with the chatter. Like, I mean, the thing is,
well,
like,
what you're saying makes it sound like I was like, oh yeah, you know his mom. Yeah, go ahead. Do you give me his fucking mom?
no, I would argue that it's almost worse than that because it's a chatter saying that they're going to look into it, and you say yes, do that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, if that's happened, there wasn't any follow through on that to my knowledge, but that isn't what I would want. So I don't know what else you want me to say about it. Like, obviously, I don't want someone
Right,
to hunt his mother down.
So you shouldn't have done that.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
yeah. No.
Yeah,
but that said, I would absolutely have a conversation with his mother. I think his mother,
So do you understand? Do you understand how like behavior like that and you conducting yourself like that on the stream could lead to behavior like that random troll who sent the picture of Glass in a diaper to his mother and that kind of harassment?
Is that a thing that happened?
That is a thing that happened. Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. I'm aware. I mean, that's not like entirely based on what I'm doing though, right?
I mean, when you, again,
Yes,
directly
I agree.
are talking about his mom, condone looking into his mom, like condone having a conversation about his son's behavior to potentially get him offline. I mean, that is a kind of a direct like line.
Yeah, I don't
into
think
right?
anybody should do that. I was just saying that I would definitely be interested in that, but I don't think anybody should. I wouldn't do it myself, but that's more of like a hypothetical or like
Well, I would also
yeah.
ask, what would you do if that chatter did follow through with it and gave you the information of Glass's mom?
I would not contact his mother. I don't want his mom's info
Why are you saying that with a smile?
because I don't know.
But didn't you just say that you wanted to talk to her?
Yeah, but that's not the way I would go about it. Like if his mom hit me up, I would have a conversation with her. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't like go out of my way to like talk to his mother.
So you wouldn't approach her, but if she approached you, you would have a conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that not okay? I can't talk to his mom if she hits me up.
No, I mean if she hits you up, but it's just like
Yeah,
that's just
that's
not
a different story. If
really
she
what
reaches out to you.
happened. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it's just that's
To
the
clarify,
confusing
I've
part
never
to me.
talked to Glass's mom. No, I never had any intentions of doing it. But I do, sometimes I think pretty openly. Like I do, it sounded like you were saying I was talking about like being interested in that, and that is something that I've thought about a lot. Where it's like, when you have this guy saying this shit all day, it really makes you wonder like what his life is like. Like I would have to think that his mother would be aware of what he's doing at some point.
Right. I mean, you bring her culpability into the situation, which could directly lead to her getting harassed, right?
Okay. I mean, talking about anything makes anything like possible to happen, right? Like if I talk about, I'm not gonna say that because that'd be fucked up. If I talked about like going to like the local police department with like a package of some sort, like that's sort of like putting the idea out there, right? Like you know what I'm trying to say. Like talking about anything puts the idea in people's heads. I think most people should like
Specifically the
behave.
way that you talk about it. Like if I say, "Hey chat, should we kill 17 people?" and then I say, "Just kidding. I'm obviously kidding. I'm never going to do that." Then that's different than being like, "Hey chat, like I really want to talk to Glass's mom, guys. Like I really want to do that." I'm thinking about pursuing that next as like my next like source of entertainment, which is
Yeah, if it helps, I don't currently really want to talk to his mother, but I'm sure there's definitely a period of time where
So you just did at a time. You don't need more, but you did at a time.
I do. I would still
He's
do
a
it,
changed
but
man.
like, I would still do it, but just like less right now. Like I don't really care at this point.
Okay, yeah.
But like
okay.
maybe like a year or two ago, I'd been more interested.
Talk to his mom as a little treat rather than okay. I'm trying to find
No,
this,
it'd be the same. It would be the same conversation. Like I would be very interested to know like, hey, like, what do you think about your son? You know, like, I'm very interested in that. Like the same way if there was some kid on like Fortnite screaming the N-word, and I'm like, get your mother on the mic, right? The same exact way. That's how I see Timmy.
Okay. So let me see. Do you, since you said that she was like culpable and everything, right? Do you believe that she does deserve criticism from people?
Not like to her. Like, I don't think anybody should like call her or anything like that. But also, you realize, yeah, I'm not saying you're a hypocrite, but do you realize you asking me these questions is also putting the idea in people's heads?
No, because I completely disavow it. The difference is, like, I, as the influencer, am saying I completely disavow this. I think this behavior
Okay, but
is
that
terrible.
doesn't mean people aren't going to do it.
Okay, but they're going to do it a lot less than somebody who never disavows it and says, I'm
let me
really
ask you a
thinking
question.
about doing this.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Before today, do you think there are, before this moment right now on your stream, do you think that there are more or less people now thinking about talking to Glass's mother than when we spoke about it on the stream?
I think I'm a shitter, so I think that my like reach isn't huge, but I think me disavowing it and talking about why it's a terrible thing has, if anything, is going to make people realize that it's not a good thing to do. More so,
All right,
I can't
that's just not how it works, though.
control maniacs. I can't control
Well, yeah,
maniacs.
wait.
But
What
I
I
would
would
argue
ask-
they're all maniacs if they went and did that.
Okay,
Well,
but
what I
like,
would ask you, or would
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
would you argue that someone saying don't do this action would have the same level of like responsibility for this psychos doing like the action as the person saying yes, do it?
They run that by me again.
Okay, so there's two different people here, right?
Yep.
Someone says to their audience, yes, do it. And someone says to their audience, no, don't do this. If the audience goes and does it anyways, do those two creators have the same level of blame as each other?
No, in that specific instance, I would say that the one that said not to do it specifically versus the one that encouraged it is like a direct contradiction.
but they both have
Although
a level
I
of blame for even
believe-
mentioning it.
Yes, I believe that even talking about these things puts the idea in people's heads, no matter what kind of context you give it.
So okay, let me just put it this way. So if I say, chat, killing people is wrong. Do not kill people. Killing people bad. We should never kill people. Killing people bad. Are there some people in my chat that are going to have the idea to kill people now?
No, I don't think like you're gonna like radicalize somebody, but definitely I would agree that it's making somebody think about the idea of killing somebody. Like, you can say the same thing for like, hey guys, you're not allowed to be racist. Don't do that. Someone's gonna say the N-word, and that's like a lesser example. But yeah, I think if you're talking about something, you're putting the idea in people's heads, regardless of if you're encouraging it or not. Obviously, encouraging something, and if you're influential and you're actually promoting or encouraging something, that's going to have more of an impact. But even just talking about it and not like in discouraging a certain act is in a way going to, especially in like a wider audience, is going to put the idea in people's heads, and it's just naturally going to make more people think of doing it.
In that case, why do you bring up people harassing your girlfriend?
Well, I agree 100%. That's why I don't like to talk about that very much, right? But
Okay.
yeah, that absolutely is true.
And by that logic, why even talk about pedophilia?
Well, I think that's a little bit of a different argument, right? Because if I mean, I guess you could say the same for that.
I'm going to be a pedophile after someone says it.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I mean, this is just ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, well, the concept that you're still putting in someone's head technically exists, but obviously, I believe, I'm not like a pedophilologist over here, but I believe it's not like a learned trait to be a pedophile, right?
okay,
We'll see.
I guess we'll find out.
Like, I don't think you're gonna turn somebody into a pedophile. But if somebody, I guess in the case if somebody didn't think of that previously and you put them onto this idea, they might be like, oh shit, wait, that's for me. I am a pedophile. And they would then be like, okay, potentially I'll do it. Like, okay, let's say you take 100,000 people, right, that are just moldable, they were living in a box their whole life or something. And if we're is it safe to say that being a pedophile is something that you're just like born as? Is that how that works? Would we say, or
It can be. It can also be something that you're molded into, I think.
Okay.
Because
So
of like trauma and stuff like that, the cycle of abuse, etc.
Sure. Okay. So let's say if we take like these 100,000 people that have just been living in like a fucking closet their whole life. I guess there'd be a lot of issues there, but let's just like ignore the trauma of that, right? They've never been subjected to these things before. And then you say to them, the only message they have, being a pedophile is bad. Wouldn't you agree that you even just saying that potentially like awakens at least one person out of those 100,000?
Hell
into
no,
being like,
bro.
oh
Like,
wow,
I mean,
this is a concept I wasn't
like,
aware of prior. Now I'm gonna think about
no, I don't. I do not agree with that. No.
My
Okay, but
pedo
that's just-
wolf.
Okay, well, let me use like an actual real example then, right?
Sure.
Okay, this is something like in the trolling scene. Okay, trolls like to put like disclaimers in their videos saying, "Do not harass the people in the video. Don't do it." They do it anyway, right?
I mean,
You're not aware of that, but that's a direct example where somebody has said, "Don't do this thing," and then people do it.
I think when we're talking about lesser examples such as trolling or racism, obviously, like, you know, because of those things being, you know, smaller, lesser things that don't actually like matter a ton, right? I don't think that, like,
Are you saying
know,
racism's not bad?
come on, man. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Like,
No, go ahead. Tell me how racism isn't a problem. Then go
come
ahead. All right, I'll
on.
listen.
Come on. Like,
right,
come
go
on,
ahead.
dude. But, like, you know what I mean. Like, I would say that we can both agree that, you know, racism, like saying the N-word in a live stream chat versus hitting a black person with a baseball bat until they stop moving are probably on different scales, right? I think we can agree with that, right?
Yeah, you lost me on like how this relates, but maybe you're gonna tie that in.
I am. So things like saying the N-word in a live chat and trolling are on one scale, right? Whereas, you know, going to someone's family and harassing them or trying to get their information and suggesting that they're culpable, or, you know, doxing or something on a larger scale and saying explicitly that you disavow it, like, I think that there's an understanding that those things are far more extreme. So there's much less likely for people to see that and get any ideas from it, right? I think when it's smaller stuff like trolling or, you know, mild, if you want to call trolling mild harassment, or like, you know, saying the N-word in a chat, I think that it's more likely because it's, you know, pretty, you know, it's pretty small, right? But when you get to these grander things, such as like what we've been talking about with the contact of the mother, etc., it gets to a point where when you disavow this stuff and you explain exactly why it's bad and you explain this is not a good thing to do, I think it dissuades most people from it. And if there is a maniac, like, we don't blame J.D. Salinger. I don't know if you know about this, but like, we don't blame J.D. Salinger for killing John Lennon. Just because the guy who killed John Lennon read J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, we don't blame him for doing that, right? Just in the same way that, like, if a maniac hears me talk about, like, not contacting people's families and decides to contact someone's family off of that, that's not my fault at all. Like, that is just a natural byproduct of mental illness. That is nothing to do with anything, right? And so that scale is so much smaller than never disavowing it, consistently saying that, like, you know, it's fine or whatever, or just never disavowing it and never saying it's a bad thing, right?
So yeah, I think this is like another point where, like, I think we agree, but we're saying things very differently. Because I agree with what you're saying. I guess when we're talking about a clip that was from like 2 years ago, I do agree that nobody should go and contact his mother, and I do think that's a bad thing, even though I didn't really say that, right?
Right.
So, you know, I can't change like what I said in the past. Sometimes I just think about stuff out loud, I guess. I don't have to tell you. But yes, so you know, like I said, I would still talk to his mother. I'm still interested in it, but like, is it like right now, do you want me to preface that by saying like I don't think anybody should go and like harass his mother?
I mean, that would be the responsible thing to do, yeah.
I've never been like that with like anything I've done, like, honestly. So, but yeah, I see the point. I don't know.
Well, but you understand how that could directly, like, you've acknowledged how that can directly lead to like consequences like that. Like, I mean, your audience, I'm not going to shit on your audience, but your audience is very, very charged with energy and wanting to help you, which is great, but it doesn't become so. I mean, it doesn't become so great when they're like saying my full name because, you know, I like am saying, hey, this Celestio stuff needs a little more evidence before you say stuff. And, you know, which did happen multiple times.
I can control these people? Like,
no.
But
I'm saying that you need to conduct yourself in a responsible way. I'm not blaming you on the doxing thing, by the way. Okay, I want to make that exceptionally clear. I'm not blaming you on that. Okay, but what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that your audience is very, very charged towards action, right? And which is fine. I mean, that's a fine thing, but you need to be careful about that, and you need to be responsible about it, right? So when it comes to actions like this, it's like, not with the doxing thing specifically. That was more a case in point of them being charged in general. But like in the case of like this mom thing, it's important to be like, hey guys, this is not a good thing to do. So do not like contact his mother, right? Like, I mean, it's just little things like that where like all of us have these forms of checks and balances that we do where like I have to be very, like my audience is not like that, but I have to be very, just for the sake of almost insurance of being like, guys, don't fucking do this. Like, I am not, and if I find out that you do, you're banned from chat and I'm never speaking to you again. Right? Like, I mean, it's stuff like that where it's just like these little things.
What I will say, I don't moderate my shit at all. I think that's probably the difference there. Like, my community is about, especially these days, like back in the day, I would try to like have a community together. But these days I like to talk to people, and there's people that say some crazy shit and I'm just like, all right, whatever. So yeah, no, obviously we ban people that are like bad actors and things like that. But one of your this is a mod in the chat. This person says I brigaded Milo. I actually am curious what you think of that. So I did actually, and this is how you know I meant it, because when I was looking at Milo's stream, I was like, guys, don't like say fucked up shit. And then apparently,
you stream sniped, right?
Yeah, I was watching the stream because I was curious to see like what Milo was up to. And then somebody like went in the chat and like told Milo like, commit suicide or something like that. Even though I already had said prior not to do that. Like I said, don't say anything mean, like don't, whatever. And I even, obviously, after it happened, I was like, I don't condone that shit, right?
Well, yeah, like what I would say in that case is if you said that and took the proper steps, I wouldn't hold that against you.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if they do it anyway, and I understand, obviously, you saying something is more than nothing. I think that's the real point here, right?
Well, it basically changes from whether you're responsible or not for their actions. That's like a key factor here, right? Because if you're saying stuff like do it, or you're not making it very clear and they do it, that could fall back on you. But if you make it painfully clear to say don't do it, then that can't really fall back on you, right? Like that, you could be like, I literally took the proper procedures.
Yeah, I guess this plays into what I said before, which is like I think that I'm sort of more hands off with this stuff. Like I've had people in the past press me like, "Oh, this person got doxxed because of you. Why won't you tell them not to dox?" I'm like, they're gonna do it anyway. I think there's a difference between me being hands off with it versus like directly encouraging it. So with what you're saying, if it came off that way, that's not really what I wanted. So obviously, it's not good.
Did you ban the person who told him to kill himself from your chat?
I don't even know who did it. So no.
Right.
I don't even know if they were in my chat. I mean, they might have been, because he's been getting a lot of hate like since the video dropped like over 2 weeks ago. Sure. So it could have just been somebody that saw the video. I don't know, but I don't even know who said that. I think they got banned in there.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's I'm pretty hands off for the most part, but yeah, stuff like that obviously is too far.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, if I don't know, I'm a little split on this because it's like my chat is begging me to show you the clip.
I mean, okay, you can show me the clip, but this V person said you knew what streaming Milo's stream would do. So this is literally my entire argument, by the way. So do I need to like give a disclaimer for like everything then to please this person? I'm not saying you guys, right? But like in that case, do I have to like, guys, I'm streaming Milo's stream, but don't go to Milo's chat. Guys, I think Milo's a bad person, but don't say Milo's a bad person. That's not nice to fair.
To be fair, how often do you stream snipe someone? Because that's always going to be a risk when you stream snipe.
I did the one time there.
I stream snipe people on the regular, and when I do it, I say, do not go into this person's chat. Do not say anything mean to them. Do not like just be calm yourself, behave, and act like normal people. We are watching something. We are not interacting unless I am directly interacting with it. Other than that, I do not approve of you guys directly interacting or saying anything. Like I do heavily laden my shit with insurance, right?
The truth is though, that's just not going to work for everybody. Like I think that's fine that you do that. I think it's fair.
I think it's better to do it as a standard.
Probably true, yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
honestly, this would actually just more or less help you because it gives you like a CYA, right? Like if anyone ever
Exactly.
tries to use anything against you, you could just be like, "Hey, I already took the proper procedures, so like hop off my dick," right? Like if
yeah,
anything, that's all that gives you. It's
yeah,
only
like
real, yeah.
again, we're
Sorry,
talking about a clip that happened who knows how long ago as well. So this
yesterday.
isn't like something. Oh shit,
Kidding, kidding,
you know,
kidding.
like this isn't something like I can't go back in the time machine and change the way I worded it or whatever. And I also at the same time I am a pretty unfiltered person in the sense that like you know I already explained to you how I'm interested in his mother. Not like that people should seek her out, right? So there you go. There's your disclaimer, right? Like I said pretty much the same
Sure.
sentiment, I believe, in a way that was appropriate. If if it came off any other type of way, I could assure you that's not what I meant. But if
Well,
you want to show me the clip,
let's see.
I'll
Let's see. Yeah, why don't we
yeah, go
see?
ahead.
We
All
need to
right.
talk
Okay, let's turn it up a little bit because Glass is terrible at audio balancing apparently.
mom.
Alright.
Lol, I legit want to see what'll happen if she knew what he.
Okay.
We need to talk to his mom. Lol, I legit want to see what'll happen if she knew what he's done. I'm down to talk to his mom. Maybe I'll like send her like a letter in the mail and be like, "Hello, Mrs. Timothy. Your boy. He's a very troubled one. Would you like to have a conversation just for his well-being?" I would love to have his mom on stream. I think that
Wait,
could
can you
settle
pause
it
for a
once
second?
and for all.
Of course.
Do we take issue with this so far? Like, is that a problem? That I
I
said I was
mean,
gonna send his mom a letter.
as
Like,
long as
that's a
there's
joke.
as long as there's like a just kidding at the end.
Okay, but bro,
No.
I'm not sending a letter to his mother.
Well,
I mean,
No, I didn't send a letter to his mother.
yeah,
If
no,
I did, it'd be
I'm
a very nice letter, by the way.
if you did it. If I did it, okay, OJ. Like, I mean, come on, like,
No,
like,
that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to be very
Nah.
nice.
no,
would
I
never
get
say
it, but it's
rude.
like,
All right.
okay, sure.
All right.
I think I need to get his mom on a Discord call and have a conversation with her with what's going on with her boy Timothy. Timothy's mom, if you're listening or hearing this somehow, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Make his mom an e-kitten. Nah, listen, I don't want to disrespect his mom unless his mom is part of the problem, which I doubt. Yeah, maybe his dad. You guys think I'll ever be able to do a collab with his parents? Yeah, I would. I think that's the next thing I'd want to do. I think I want to talk to Glass's mom on stream. Do you guys think I can do a collab with his mom or no? I feel like as a mother, she should want to speak to me if she actually cares about her son at all. I'd be down to talk to his father as well. Listen, he is their dependent, right? They're his legal guardian as he doesn't take care of himself. So it'd only be right to talk to his guardian, I think. Maybe one day, we'll see. I thought I was the designated call the mom person off. Hey, listen, if you want to get me in touch with his mother, I'd be happy to speak to her. I want Glass's mom on stream.
So that's where you say, like, if you want to get me in touch with his mom, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, that was a joke. But I will say the way this is edited makes it sound like I was just rattling off like.
No, I can
"Please,
tell there's
somebody."
cuts. To be fair to you, I
Yeah.
can tell that there's cuts. It's very readily obvious that there are cuts.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
I think that's a bit misleading. I would
Sure.
say.
I mean, in a perfect world, this would be a 5-minute long clip instead of a 2-minute long clip, right?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, unless you're like mentioning his mom like 30 times over an hour, I would think
I
that it
doubt
would be
it.
more like, you know, within a span of 5 minutes.
I'm
And
gonna
this
start.
is a
I'm gonna start
condensed
making
version.
community posts about his mom every single day. I think it's what I'm gonna do now.
All right, buddy. Okay.
I'm making it. I'm exposing his mother's LinkedIn account. I'm doing it.
You gotta say /J.
No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I want to interview her now. Glass, if you're listening, tell your mom to reach out to me on Discord, buddy. Anyways, I think I blabbered a lot today. It was pretty fun. I think that's my next interest for funny content ideas is to talk to Glass's guardian. So perhaps I'll try to do that. Do like a collab with his mom. I feel like it'd be interesting. She seems like an interesting person to talk to, you know? We'll see though. We'll see. Definitely down for that though. Like 100% I'm down for that. How realistic that is, I'm not sure. But maybe. We'll see. I'd watch it. Yeah, exactly. It'd be very
Wait,
interesting.
he's typing in the chat.
Anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there for today, just because it's been a long stream. Had a good time. Gonna not drag it on too long. So that said, we all had a good time.
So,
He said, "Oh no, I'm scared."
like, nowhere in there are you saying like, don't, you know, I'm not gonna do this. Don't do this. This is a joke.
Okay. Let me set the record straight then. Okay. I don't think anybody should talk to Glass's mother, harass his family, or him even for that matter. But I absolutely would do a collab with his parents if they were down for it. And it would be done respectfully, but I don't think anybody should, I would never reach out to them to do that because that's weird. But like if the opportunity presented itself, if they literally hit me up and said, "Yo, our son's been posting about you for 3 years. We need to talk," I'd be like, okay, I would do it. But maybe that's like the only actual serious context in which I would. But no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't like try to hit up his parents or anything like that and talk to them. I'm
Then
not
you
really.
shouldn't have asked somebody to like implicitly ask somebody to do it for you.
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely.
Also,
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
was the meaning of what that person said? They were a mod in your chat. They said, "I'm usually the call your mom person." What did that mean?
I don't know. Let me see it.
I think it was from somebody named Lilith. It says, "I'm usually the call your mom person." Let me find it.
With you, make his mom an e-kitten. Nah, listen, I don't want to disrespect his mom unless his mom is part of the problem, which I doubt. Yeah, maybe his dad. You guys think?
And by the way, I before, you know, if any of your fans watch this, it's in another clip that I'm happy to pull up where you talk about his mom being culpable. It's not this one.
I'll ever be able to do a collab with
Well, no, I mean, I'll say that now. I think like at this point, his mom is to blame for his behavior to some degree. Like, I can't imagine she just doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay.
I've
I
said
think
that.
that's the next thing I'd want to do. I think I want to talk to Glass's mom on stream. Do you guys think I can do a collab with his mom or no? I feel like as a mother, she should want to speak to me if she actually cares about her son at all. I'd be down to talk to his father as well. I mean, listen, he is their dependent, right? They're his legal guardian as he doesn't take care of himself. So it'd only be right to talk to his guardian, I think. Maybe one day, we'll see. I thought I was the designated.
There it is. Lilith 3951 says, "I thought I was the designated call the mom person." Aw.
I don't know. It sounds like a joke.
But what's the joke?
I don't know. It
Like,
says,
have they called someone's
I
mom
think
before?
she's no. It sounds like actually we did. Now that you say that, there was this person that was plotting to like expose their mother, and then they it's a long story, but they basically were like like trying to come to me to expose their mom, right? And we basically called the mother to like warn her what their child was up to, and then like something happened where the kid like came back and like assaulted their mom, and then she was texting my girlfriend was talking to the mom, so that's
Okay.
probably what she was referring to.
Okay.
And she was like texting my girlfriend like showing pictures of her like cuts and shit. I think she
Jesus.
thought my girlfriend was like a social worker or something. But yeah, we told her to go talk to the police essentially. But yeah,
Okay.
that was probably what that would be in reference to.
Sure. Okay. And so just to close out the Milo thing,
You didn't even talk about Milo.
yeah, well, I kind of
Yeah,
did because
it's fine. Sure.
you talked about it in the chat, right? Or from the chat.
Yeah.
To close that aspect of it out, like, so you didn't tell anybody to go into his chat.
No. The only thing I said was for the people in there, I was curious if Milo blocked my name. So I did ask somebody to type my name. That was it though. Which didn't go through because I was right. So yeah.
Okay. So I mean, you
But as
told
far
him to
as,
go
like-
into your chat, but you didn't say, or into his chat. You just didn't say to do anything else.
I just said to type my name because I was curious if my name was banned,
Okay.
which isn't like malicious.
Mm-hmm.
I also rated some guy and told them to go and say nice things to that guy, you know, after that stream.
Well, when you say nice things,
Was that a
Listen,
joke?
they were nice to that. You can go look at the stream. It's on my channel. They were nice to that guy.
But that
Some
one
guy
wasn't
playing
a joke.
Minecraft. No, that one wasn't a joke. I'm a wholesome guy.
okay,
Very
bro.
wholesome.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm all about like positive vibes. You know what I mean?
Do you understand how some people could get confused?
By me, okay.
Like when you're joking
talking
and
about
when
the
you're
Milo
not?
thing? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because people are pretty retarded. I'm not saying you guys, but you know, especially in like the VR chat space, I think pretty much everything I said everything I say gets confused pretty easily.
Do you think some of your chat's retarded?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I mean, that's case in point as to why you shouldn't be saying stuff like what you did with Glass's mom, right?
Well, yeah, we already were over that.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. I'm making sure the point lands here. Okay.
This guy wants me to play this Lemons. Is that allowed on the stream, or do I have to do it on my pred catching videos?
God. Yeah. What? Just out of curiosity, what was the mindset behind that?
Yeah. Okay. You want like the really like raw version of that, or do
I
you
want the
me to
raw.
give you, like?
I want raw and real.
Okay. So the way I see it is this is this guy who was like 62 or 63, and he was trying to virtually sexually assault a child. So I virtually sexually assaulted him, essentially, is the way I would describe that.
Well, did you sexually assault him or did you give him pleasure?
He was very uncomfortable after the fact. It was a very brief moment. I would like to think it was like a few seconds of pleasure and then disgust.
So he like knew that the intent was to assault.
I would say by the time it was finished, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Listen, I will say, these were like old methods. That's not really that was back when I like first started doing it, because my transition to doing that was realizing that instead of just trolling like, VR chat players, like, oh wait, there's actually like really bad people on here that I control. So it started out as a way to like basically troll predators. And then I was like, oh, that's maybe not very good.
What made you decide that wasn't very good?
Well, if you want actual results, I don't think we were doing a lot of things wrong back then. I don't think, I wonder, I'm not entirely sure how police would feel if I were to do that today.
Well, yeah, they
would, like,
wouldn't
fuck it up at all.
They wouldn't convict off of something like that. Yeah.
I'd have to think about that. But yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain because I've never tried it, but yeah, for a number of reasons.
One way to find out.
I mean, I could try, we could do everything else right and pull out the Levins again, but
Yikes.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you clarified it, so now that everyone can understand it was a joke. So
I only say I'm kidding when I say something like really fucked up. Like, otherwise, if I like that
like
was
to get
pretty fucked up.
like to get someone's mother's information. I mean, that would have been a good sign.
That's not fucked up. I
That's
disagree
not.
with that.
Oh, okay.
That's only fucked up due to external factors. I think it's totally normal that somebody that is dependent on their parents to that's what happens when you're a man child, right? I think mommy's gotta punish you somehow.
Okay, well, what about the fact that
yeah.
Glass has talked numerous times about his mom being sick? Is she still as culpable if it
maybe
turned out
not.
that she had something like leukemia?
I'm not aware of his mother's condition, but no, I guess that would be a potential reason she maybe doesn't know what's going on.
I mean, wouldn't that be good things to look into before you say that his mom's culpable?
Well, I didn't say she was. I was just talking and
But you did.
theorizing. I don't think I asserted it as like a fact. I think I was more so like brainstorming and thinking out loud.
Are you talking about like now or then?
I would think in both cases.
Okay, well, here, we can pull it up. Because then you did.
Okay.
Hold on. We can pull it up. God, the way that he structures this document is so fucking terrible. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure chat sees it.
Well, just full transparency, I do think she is. It is my opinion that I do think, like, I can't imagine she's like completely ignorant to what's going on, especially if she actually has been harassed to any capacity. I would have to think that she knows what he's up to.
Well, you
But if
wouldn't think that
she's-
he would just like lie to her or something like that if confronted on it, being like, "What are you doing on the internet?"
Well,
think that he would just
that's
take
why
some
I'd be happy to
position?
talk to his mother. I would want to help her.
that he has mentioned is sick multiple times.
Okay.
But okay.
Well, I think
Let's-
that's bad if he's taking advantage of his ill mother. I think he should treat her better than that.
How would by living at her home and not paying the bills, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like he could try and help her a little bit.
Okay.
Assuming that's the case, for all we know, Glass is a very wealthy fellow and has a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys,
But he
let's
might
talk
be
like
employed.
Yeah. I gotcha. Here, we're gonna speed this up a
Sure.
little bit
10
'cause it's a
years from
longer
now,
clip.
what is Glass doing with his life? Honest answers, no memes. Don't say he's going to be like, I want to know like honest answers. What you think Glass will be doing 10 years from now? Like genuinely. You think he'll actually be in prison? Jerking off. Okay. You really think he's still going to be doing the same shit? I mean, a shit factory job, McDonald's, if he would grow up? I doubt that. If he doesn't get on the internet, he's going to get multiple mental disorders, he'll be sent to jail. Okay. Maybe buying his own bagels. Okay. He's going to be at home living with his mom still. You really think so? Like he kind of has to like grow up or else he's kind of just doomed to this forever. I have a very, how do I say it? My view on the world as far as like outcomes for people is so much more, I think, optimistic than I think the reality. In my eyes, every single person somehow, some way will find their path in life and figure shit out at some point. But then again, there are people who just straight up don't, right? And I feel like that's ignoring that, right? Like I believe that everybody can like find love and live their life in a healthy way, but there's also people that just like live with their parents until they're like 70 years old. They become fucking old and balding and they're still living with their like parents. Dude, he's almost 30. There's no coming back. Do you really think so? There's like he's just doomed in prison monologuing.
Is
about
there-
Harvard, took it all away.
Is this like, are we you at the part yet, or is this like?
No, it's getting there. That's why I'm just kind of
Okay.
letting it play, so there's no obfuscation of context or anything.
I think there's no
We'll speed it
saving
up
for
a
him.
little bit.
Is he already 30? I heard things around when he get. I mean, no, he's in his late 20s, but yeah, I think definitely it gets a little harder. Here's what I think. Okay, Glass is an unlovable individual in his current state, right? It'd be physically impossible for him to ever have a healthy relationship with somebody. So if he can, like, that Glass is not going anywhere in life for as long as he continues wasting his life trying to harass people, right? For as long as he does that, he will never amount to anything, right? Only when Glass puts his pride aside and gives up and admits defeat will he ever have a chance of turning things around. But I think this is a big hurdle for him. It's clearly such a consuming part of his life. He doesn't live for himself at this point. He only lives to be like a parasite, and I mean that he is. I mean, if he gets his shit together, but he can't take accountability. Taking accountability is how we live and improve. If he cannot, he'll be stuck in the same spot forever. True. Feel unbelievably bad for his mom. All she wanted him to do was succeed and prosper, and she just has to watch him waste his own life away yelling at a screen. Yeah, but at some point, like, the mother's to blame for this too, right? Like, why isn't she like trying to tell him to improve his life? Like, does she just not care that he's doing this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't care that her son is like harming people and putting her and him in danger. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you as a mother be like, hey, listen, dude, like, if you're gonna live here and be a fucking piece of shit, like, fine, but you need to stop doing this shit. You need to try and do something productive, and stop engaging with this stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Or do you think his mom is just as stupid as he is? His mother might be a dumb fuck as well. It's very possible. If she's allowing that to go on, she's absolutely a dumbass. At what point does it become elder abuse? Wasn't she his mod at one point? His mom? I don't think so. If and whenever he decides to go outside, he was.
Is this the part yet, or are we still getting to it?
That was the part. Yeah.
Okay, I literally have no issue with anything I said there. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. I don't care about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, the problem
yeah.
came with when you said you didn't say that she was culpable, but you did.
It was like we were like schizo crafting over there. None of what I said was. I mean, you literally played the context from like, what do you guys think? I think this. Like, none of that is me being like.
Well, right, that would be you saying that you think that she's culpable.
Yeah.
You just told me.
Okay, I don't think. I think there's a difference between me giving my opinions versus me like stating something as a fact, right? I think that was very obvious that I was just giving my thoughts. I think I'm allowed to do that. I think it's fine.
But that was what was in dispute there. I mean, you said that you didn't say that you thought she was culpable, and like you didn't say it as a fact. You said it was your thoughts, and that was what was in dispute. And you did say that you thought that she was culpable.
Well, yeah, I just said that again before you even played the clip, though. So I don't know. I think we're getting confused here. But yeah, I don't take issue with what I said there. I have opinions on things.
Well, the reason I was confused is because you said you didn't say it. That's why I was confused.
Okay, well, I'm confused then, right? But yeah, I like to talk about things. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think there's anything wrong with what I said there. I was just talking about a situation, asking people their thoughts, similar to what we're doing now. I don't see the issue there. I mean, even in the clip, I'm like, shouldn't she know that like she's potentially like he's putting them both in danger potentially? I think that's acknowledging what he's doing is harmful. And I don't think that's like encouraging harm by saying, whatever I said there. I don't see that as a call to action, if that's what you're getting at.
Well, the call to action was later.
Right, yeah.
In the same stream.
Right.
And you've already shared his Kiwi Farms that has his full name, so it'd be pretty easy to find his mom.
Well, you're mixing things up now. I don't think I shared it back then.
Not in that particular time, but I mean, you have before, right?
I don't know. I don't know the time frame.
You said that you did.
I don't know like the order of events. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what year that clip that you're showing is from.
Okay. I mean, we can check.
Okay. But either way, wherever it's from, I already agree that that came off probably bad there with the one part. Right. I don't want somebody to give me his mother's info.
It was October 29th, 2025.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know when I mean, my document with the Kiwi Farms was after that, I think. Maybe not. I don't even know.
But you've posted his Kiwi Farms link in the announcements before, right? And then deleted it.
Right, later. But again, I don't know when these things happen, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I guess if I did that. You gotta keep in mind, like, this stuff's very fresh for you based off of a schizo document. I kind of put this behind me, like, however long ago, the last time I spoke to him. There's like the one part where I had a conversation with Glass where I announced the end of the war type shit. I don't know if that's mentioned or anywhere anybody's seen that, but that was like the official like end for me. I had a conversation with him on Discord. It was actually very cordial. It wasn't like recorded or anything. Maybe he recorded it. I don't know, but I don't think I've ever seen it. But we were like, I don't know. I basically told him like, dude, just like drop it, like move on with your life. Like seriously, like, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what was said, but we both agreed to drop it. Obviously that didn't really work. But either way, I don't particularly have interest in him at this point. You know,
Sure.
like so.
I guess the question becomes like, would you be willing to do this kind of conduct with somebody else?
There's a lot of context there where you know, you got to give me like a specific scenario, I suppose. Like,
What do you mean? Like,
well, are you asking me if I'd be like, guys, call this person's mother? Is that what you're asking me?
well, no, because you didn't do that directly. Like, that's not. I'm
Guys,
not
give me
being
his mother's
bad
phone
faith.
number.
Yeah, I mean, like, would you?
No.
Would you? Okay, so
Well, I mean,
it's
because the thing is as well with me saying that, I don't talk to people in my chat. It's not like they do DM me after stream, right? So that to me came off obviously a way that it shouldn't have, if it seems that way to you, because it's not like I was expecting a DM from that guy, and I don't recall anybody ever sending me his like parents' info or anything like that. I don't really talk to these people, so there was never a situation where that person was going to talk to me. So if that person did take that upon themselves, they shouldn't have. That's not my intention, you know.
okay. So, and like when it comes to like posting people's docs information and stuff like that, that's not something you would do with other people.
It depends what you mean by like doxing, right? Because like anything that is personally identifiable, regardless of how it's obtained or if it's public, can be doxing by definition.
Let's say full name that isn't like in their YouTube channel, and the only place that it isn't is, let's just do a 1-to-1 example. Their name isn't present anywhere except for Kiwi Farms, their full name. And
I mean, I do that with predators technically. If you wanna
okay,
be, like technical.
sure. I mean, other than predators, like with somebody who's not necessarily a predator, would you do that?
Probably not.
Well,
Is there another instance?
the one we talked about?
But I didn't do that though.
Yeah, you did. You leaked their femboy photos.
Yeah, he asked them the name.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, he asked
Sure.
if I would just like leak somebody's name, which I didn't do. I guess
Okay.
Clat did though.
Was
if I'm
there
understanding.
was there
He's talking about Celestius.
oh,
I
oh.
did show the femboy pics on my stream of
Was this-
Celestius.
Was his face previously public?
I don't know.
Or did it show his face, I
No,
suppose?
because the justification that the justification that Six and all of them lot gave was, well, we're showing the evidence of what the abuser sent to the victim. So no, his face wasn't public.
Yeah, I'll give you the TLDR, right? I was on a stream and I was showing like Celestius shit, and I was like, these pictures are like fucking cringe as shit because it's him with like thigh highs on and like a fucking collar and shit. And I was like, I don't know. Again, I could be somebody feel free to pick on my wording, or somebody if somebody has a clip. But to my knowledge, if I'm not misremembering, I think I talked myself out of it in the sense of like I wasn't going to show it because I was like, maybe I shouldn't. But then Stronzina was like, no, do it. So I said, okay. I mean, I guess if you're saying to do it, like, fuck it. This is your, in that context, I did show the photos,
Right. Yeah.
which would have come out anyway because it was part of evidence and all that shit, and they have them on the other video and everything. Oh
And
yeah,
is
and
it-
someone said that they said his full name on my stream, which I don't even remember, but I believe it.
I think it was Clat.
That wouldn't surprise me. She said my full name too.
Mm. Yeah, but to answer your question, no, I'm not really about just like doxing somebody. I'm not a malicious person. I kind of just like to stick to exposing people that are scumbags. I mean,
Sure.
I didn't dox Milo. I know Milo's full name, so
That's good.
that's
Yeah.
actively something going on.
So what would your opinion be for like members of your audience who do that? Like, I mean, like for instance,
Well,
like
if they did that to you, I think that's shitty, and I apologize for that.
somebody like Clatrin who we know did that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't consider Clad even part of my audience, but yeah, obviously that's stupid. I don't think anything in that interaction warranted that or anything.
So, I mean, just to like cover all my bases here, because I don't want to presume anything. Like, have you? What is your like? I guess relationship with Clatrin? Like, I mean, have you? You
No,
guys?
I don't have one.
Okay, so you've never like participated in like catches or anything like that in the past, or like gathering information.
I've been in like not public, but like big, large group settings with her briefly.
Mhm.
Aside from that, I don't even think I ever added. I think I've been in a few group chats with her, like when the shit was all coming out with Celestius, like her and Stronzina. I was in a few group chats, but yeah, aside from that, no, I have no involvement with her.
Okay.
I would say like pretty much the same with like the Celestius shit in general. I have more of an interaction with Celestis and Stronzina, but you know, Clat even less because she was kind of like around them, and I barely even talked to them. So
Okay.
Right.
All right. I mean, I think that those are all my big questions. I mean, other than
wait,
is
what did I
this-
lie about Scully? What the flip? Did I lie about anything? I feel like I've been very transparent.
Okay, bro.
I like the what the flip. That was good.
I like saying what the flip. It's a good line.
That is good. Yeah, Scully. What?
honest, gang.
Yeah, Scully. Name it, Scully. If you're gonna
Yeah,
say
please.
that.
Name and shame right now.
Yeah.
I think you just don't like that I was too truthful. I think that's what you're really trying to say.
Okay.
So what was the when's the Milo doc coming out? Do you know?
I
Curiosity. Okay.
My involvement with that is like I'm like a bridge to information because like people reach out to me, you know, and then I get them to other people to like interview them and gather their info. But in the process, I've like, you know, I have a somewhat of an idea of like the info, you know.
Right.
You kind of get the info
Yeah,
as it
yeah.
comes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but like, but to
Is-
answer your question about the document, I'm not even working on the document. I'm just like the connection between people.
Sure. Yeah, you're
Like,
just
I
like
get
the
it, you
bridge. You're the bridge.
Just,
Yeah,
just a
exactly.
simple question, so you don't not to pry too much into it.
Uh-huh.
Does the document have more or less than what your video covered?
I would say it involves more victims and like situations. To my knowledge, I don't want to misspeak on it, but a lot of it does involve like past shit, like when Milo was young. So, yeah, I mean, like the whole point of that is kind of showing it's not about like being a dumb kid, and it's kind of like the same thing with my video that I tried saying. It's not about like doing these things, you know, and being a dumb kid and growing out of it. It's this is what this person was doing, and they have not grown out of these behaviors into adulthood. So I believe that looking at those situations, I believe they're still the same person is essentially my belief on that, based on what I've seen.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because I'm definitely open to chat once the doc, drops, because that seems like something that would be interesting to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be
planning on
right there
covering it
with
as
you.
well. A lot of people want. me
Yeah,
to
I'll
cover it.
also be like covering it, like pretty much, because I obviously, like I said, I know a little bit what's in it, and I know like a lot of the, like I said, it's going to involve a lot of different victims that Milo interacted with, and it's essentially more or less a lot of like manipulative behavior of like encouraging people to self-harming themselves, just like very manipulative, weird shit, like using alt accounts and like going back to somebody and like just like really, really like crazy shit like that. I think is going to be a lot of what that involves.
Do not cast dark magic spells on Urghbla. Do not do that.
What the flip?
I don't know what that means, and I don't want to know what it means. Do not ever do that. Okay, that's bad. We are kind.
Yeah, I don't think they like me very much.
Well, they'll get over it.
Yeah.
A lot of people
It's
do
okay.
like me though. A lot of people don't like me, and a lot of people do like me. You know what I mean? That's just like part of life.
You're just a polarizing guy, I guess.
I'm just
Yeah,
an
you're-
honest person. All right.
Yeah, you're a real community splitter, you are.
Well, what I will say is like when it comes to like that whole situation with like the mom thing, I'm a very I don't take myself like I understand that I should have like a certain level of like, oh, I have to be really careful now because I influence people and I gotta act better than everybody. I can't be myself, I don't really do that very much. Like nobody would give a fuck about anything that I'm doing if I was like a nobody type shit, right?
Well, I would completely agree with that. I mean, I think the reason that
Yeah.
it's an issue in the first place is
Yeah.
because, I mean, it's what was emphasizing previously. I mean, like you are somebody who has a big swing within that community, right? And that's why that kind of
Apparently,
stuff
yeah.
matters.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
they say, Urghbla? Great power comes great responsibility.
Right, exactly.
So
That's what
true.
Celestios told me
what-
when we were really close.
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, when you guys had sleepy time calls, those
Yeah.
linked, by the way.
I
So
think that was a line
try
in
to
the
address
letter
them.
he sent you, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Please kill Glass for me as my final sacrifice.
No, that's not what he said. He said he would.
No, he said-
would
he
keep
said-
Glass's attention on him.
he
which I
said
don't
he
know
would
why
take
yeah.
care of
he's
it.
doing
He
that.
said, "I'll take care of it, Daddy Urghbla."
Yeah. By the way, he didn't
Yeah.
do shit. By the way, this guy's still sucking my dick like on the daily. So, Celestios, if you're out there, can you please like show me some respect like you promised and like do something about this guy because like you're not doing a good job. Like fucking piece of shit. I fucking hate that dude. That's the thing that oh yeah, you know what? I don't know if you were trying to end it here, but I was gonna ask you about the last time we talked.
Yeah.
I feel like you got
Go
the
for
wrong
it.
impression about like that whole situation with Celestios and like my information and stuff.
How so?
Well, because I remember we were talking about it. You were like, info, like tell the info. And I'm like, I don't have the info. Like, that's the video that's coming out. And I feel like there's a general like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what was happening, but I just think that like my involvement was like very misunderstood, perhaps.
So no, well, let me tell you where I was coming out
Oh,
with
Nug
it,
said
and
he's
then
still around. Oh,
ooh, uh-oh.
I don't like that.
Let me tell you how I was going about it, and then you tell me if you still think I'm misunderstanding. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Is that a good way to do it? Is
Yeah.
that cool? Okay, cool. So my thing was, even if you actually, especially if you didn't have all of the info, I just don't think the right thing was to like make that like Minecraft storytime video about it.
It was Hightail, by the way.
Hightail, sorry,
I've not
Hightail.
played it,
Okay,
but,
okay, all right.
since
I'm being
then,
bad
but yeah.
faith. I'm being bad faith. Hightail storytime video. Okay, I don't think that was. I don't think that was the right thing to do until you were able to like show that evidence of the stuff that you were talking about, right? I think that I just don't think that was the right way to go about it. I think that you should have waited until you were able to show like the evidence of kind of the conduct and behavior that you were talking about, and you know, kind of back up your claims that you were making in that Hightail video.
Well, the thing is, I still can't even show you the evidence of that. Like, we're getting closer.
Well, you could, because I mean, the Timlo video shows some of it. The Six video
No,
shows
you
some
don't even
of
know
it.
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There's so I didn't know the Temple info at the time. I mean, I was aware. I think I was aware. Like, I think he kind of told me something was going on, and that was his thing, whatever. But the video I made was essentially, it wasn't supposed to be like it wasn't really supposed to be like a big expose. It was basically like me just venting, necessarily, you know, because you know, talking about like how it's a bad rep for like me because like we're like seeing the same. And like I went and looked at his shit. Like I didn't watch any of his videos until after he was gone, and he said like the most retarded shit. Like I don't know if you ever listened to him in his older videos, but I would have clocked that shit right away.
Sure.
But you know, there was just like a sense of credibility he had within the community because I saw other people respected him so much, and I, you know, knew his vibe, and you know, he always portrayed himself a certain type of way. So I, you know, it was a big. I guess you could have seen it coming if you were looking for something really like ironic, I guess. But yeah, it was more so just me venting about the situation and saying how you know, and I guess like I guess I can't really speak too much for like in the moment, but the thing that like how I feel currently now that everything's sort of like said and done or whatever, I'm actually very angry with the way he left because he kind of, I never agreed. I mean, I said this in the video, I'm pretty sure, but I never agreed with him. Like I didn't necessarily agree with him coming out and making the video he did, like taking accountability, calling himself a predator. Like I've always kind of been against that, and I believe I say that in the video. But the fact that he did that and then like, you know, disappeared before like the actual allegations came out, like really made me angry because it was like, oh, you're gonna like leave under the guise of like, oh, I did something bad when what you did wasn't even really that bad, and then not actually take any accountability for like the actual like repulsive shit you're doing. Like that's what makes me angry about the situation currently.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I still hold by the fact that, like, I mean, even if, you know, whatever you were specifically talking about still wasn't out yet, like, if you had made it, like, after some of that Timlo info had been publicized or, you know, whenever, like, if you had made it after some of the info had been publicized, some of the evidence behind it, like the actual, you know, what's it called? The confrontation call itself about like the cheating and 17-19 age gap, all that kind of stuff. If you'd done it after that, then I would have been completely understandable. I would have been like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. But like, it was more because of the fact that it was before any of the info itself had been publicized, right? That was the issue I took with it.
Yeah, I guess you were looking for more than what it was really intended, which I understand.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
it was-
I'm always gonna be like, I always hold this stance, right? Like, if you're gonna make claims, you should show evidence for them, because otherwise,
True.
I don't have. Even if I think that you're credible, even if I trust you, regardless, I still need to see that evidence for it to be treated as credible, because otherwise, it's just allegations, and for people to like pile on about it the way that I saw people doing was confusing to me and didn't feel great until I actually saw the evidence myself. Once I did see the evidence myself, I was completely on that side of being like, yeah, this guy sucks. This guy's terrible, right?
I'll
But
be
like,
honest. I think
Go ahead.
Most of the criticism and the things people are piling on him for are like it's just bullshit because it's always about like the predator cheating thing.
Sure.
Like very rarely are people like, yeah, this guy's a weird fuck using minors as decoys, being like a massive hypocrite. Like nobody says that, but that's really the issue I have.
We talked about it
So-
some the first time that we talked. We did.
Yeah.
With the because I'm pretty sure that it was Tim Lowe who mentioned that was going to be an aspect of the video, and
Yeah.
we talked about it some in that sense.
Yeah, I think he actually gave me like a screen. I had like one screenshot that he sent me that I was like, okay, I see what's happening here. Where he was
Sure.
like sharing like the furry porn from the predators with the minor decoy people, something like that.
I mean, even something like that would have been like good to see. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna
Yeah.
post the video, like, and I understand if it's like from some aspect of I want to like let Tim Lowe have their time. I want Tim Lowe to be able to like break the news or whatever. But it's like if you're then going to be making these claims and talking about it, then like you should be showing at least a little bit of evidence and maybe even say like, hey, like Tim Lowe's making a video about this soon, like blah blah blah.
Well,
which
that is
I
what
can-
I did actually.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
and that's
what I did.
fair. And that's fair. But it's more like of the fact that, it's the lack of evidence. Like, I mean, it was essentially a story time video, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was the issue for me. And like, I would have
That's
that
fair.
issue with absolutely anyone. Like, I'm not singling you out there. Like, that's something I would say about anyone.
Yeah, I think that's where we had like the disagreement because I was like, bro, I'm just trying to talk,
Yeah.
something like that. I was like, bro, I was just ranting. But yeah, I understand from the evidence standpoint.
hmm Is there any other questions that you have for me? Because I'm more than happy. I'm an open book. I'm happy to answer anything you have.
I am as well. I mean, not necessarily. I guess regarding some of the things, like I don't want to rehash the whole fucking mom thing,
Sure.
but like at the end of the day, like I genuinely like do stand by that shit. And I agree. Like I agree where you're coming from, but I also like. I don't know. I don't think it makes me disagree, or I don't think it means we're on the same page for me to like. Okay, I guess I should ask you because that's I guess something that we haven't talked about. Like if you were in my situation, right? Like think that clip that you showed that was from this stream where I was the only stream I did where I actually addressed some of the like horrible shit that was going on. Which was a pretty admittedly rough time having like people around you being very like terrified and like angry and upset and like a lot of
course.
strong emotion going on, with the doxing and shit. Part of the reason that I would want to speak to his mother, especially just okay, it's like I don't understand how, and this is me saying like his mother is a piece of shit, right? Which it's part of the reason why I have to think that she probably doesn't know what's going on. I don't understand how you as a woman would like have a son that is doing like the amount of gross shit to other women that he's doing, like all like the really like sexual comments. I mean, not even talking about like the horrible doc shit, but just the fact that he's going around VR chat looking at girls' profile pictures, going, "Oh, I'm jerking off to your picture right now." Like I would think that a mother wouldn't want to raise their son to be that way, and so I still do 100% stand by that like I guess right now, like I said, I'm not really super interested in talking to his mom at this point. But back then, in that moment when all that shit's going on, and this guy's like actively doing some of the grossest shit like imaginable to various women in my life, I 100% would have wanted to speak to his mother, like because it was a joke saying, "Oh, they're his guardian," but like in a way, it was kind of true at the same time. So I guess what I'm asking is, if you were in that situation, if this guy was like saying like horrible shit about just doing like horrible shit, leaking and doing abusive gross shit to like the women in your life, wouldn't you also maybe be like, this guy's mother needs to like get him in check or something? I don't know. I'm not that you should like go on a stream and say, give me his mother's fucking email address, but I'm just saying, I'm sure you can understand where the thought would come from.
So there's two different things to that. So first of all, I don't believe that that's my responsibility to do, and I don't think that that's necessarily going to make anything better knowing how vindictive he is. That's the first thing.
Well, right, yeah.
And then-
retrospectively, you could say that.
Right.
I mean,
but
yeah.
well, I think about this when I'm in situations like this because I have had my family be threatened. I have had, people, come after people who are close to me. I mean, I had Glass talk about me raping my girlfriend, like a couple of weeks ago. Like, I mean,
Right.
I do get in these situations, and these are the things I think about. So I mean, my whole streaming career, if you could even call it that, I wouldn't, but like, career in heavy quotes, is like, I heavily promote this idea that we need to stay the fuck away from this. I don't know if you know who Ethan Ralph is, but one of his catchphrases was "You go low, I go lower," and this idea of like Old Testament eye for an eye kind of behavior, where it's like, oh, you're doing all this shit to me. Well, I think it only makes sense, even if it's not from a revenge standpoint. It only makes sense for me to like, contact your mother or do something like this. I don't abide by that kind of philosophy because and part of the reason is also Jesus, I'm struggling. Strategic. Part of it is also strategic because my thing is the strongest ground that you can stand on is a moral high ground. And you lose that moral high ground when you start doing stuff like that. At least to me. And so to me, I would be able to stand on my moral high ground and be like, well, I'm never going to do the type of shit that he's doing. I'm never going to resort to going after his family or talking to his family or going after his loved ones or talking to his loved ones. I'm going to stand high and I'm going to be the guy who doesn't do that. And it's going to make him look 7 trillion times worse. Right. And so, I mean, that's the way that I would navigate it. I mean, I would heavily criticize him for his actions. I would expose him for his behavior, and I would just leave it at that. I mean, what happens after that? I mean, the whole like thing about his mom. I mean, that's just not my responsibility, and I don't know the surrounding circumstances to which his mother either allowed that behavior, wasn't aware of that behavior, etc. Like, I mean, there is a good chance from Glass, repeatedly admitting that she's sick. There's a good chance that she's pretty sick. And so, I mean, with something like that, and I know you didn't know that, right? And I'm not holding that against you, but I'm just saying that, like, these are the things that I would be personally thinking about because I'm somebody who certainly overthinks, and in some ways, that's a good thing when it comes to a community like this and when it comes to dealing with bad actors like this.
Sure. I guess the only thing I would say to that is like, I know I say that like, okay, like, full transparency, right? If for some reason his mother or somebody did reach out to me, I would talk to them. But that was really just like, there was never any intent there to do that. Like, I've never been like, oh yeah, I'm going to find a way to talk to his mom and like snitch on him. Like, that was never like a serious thing that I tried doing ever.
And I understand you saying that, but
yeah.
that's not, I mean, unfortunately, that's not what happened. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Well, I understand how it came off.
yeah. Well, it's not how it came off. It's what you said. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah, because again, that was in like me going into like a deep discussion about how I felt about, like, oh, what the fuck? I wonder what what do you think this guy's gonna be doing in 10 years? So it kind of like devolved from there, right? So it wasn't my intention to straight up be like target his family. I definitely had like a curiosity about it, and it is something I am curious about. But to me, anything more than that is not how I feel, and I agree with you. I don't think, like I said before, if it were up to me, this shit would have never got to that point. I think it just should have just been based on the actions. People not involved should never be, targeted as like, ammo or whatever the fuck like that. And yeah, it got very ugly with him. And again, this is shit that this shit has started now nearly like 3 years ago. So of course, that was new territory for me to navigate, especially early on with that in a lot of ways. I mean, even still, it's a very absurd situation that, it's very, you can't really prepare for that. It's really absurd. Like, I doubt anybody knows what it's like to have a dude like that on you.
of course.
Keep in mind, just because, you don't want to be friends with them anymore, and also the fact that you think they're a repulsive, disgusting human, and you expose them for doing gross shit, that's pretty much the foundation of that argument. So, yeah, it's a weird situation to navigate. I would prefer if it just stopped personally.
Of course. I can totally understand that.
Yeah. So, we're rehashing shit. And I'm obviously joking about some things, and I'm not the most serious person all the time. Like, even now I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? I talked to his mom, and yes, and again, I'm not gonna act like I don't mean that. I'm not gonna like go back on my word or anything. But the truth is, this is stuff that's like shit I put behind me like a year ago. I feel like, yeah, and at this point, I'm not engaging in it in any way aside from on the streams, I suppose. But it's all stuff that I put behind me and stuff that like, maybe somebody will make a joke, I'll laugh at it, or maybe I'll see something stupid, I'll laugh at it. But as far as like sticking my nose in there these days, it's not really something I want. I think like it should just be put to rest at this point. Like, I mean, however many pages that document was, there's nothing in there. Uh, it's just a lot of complaining, I'm assuming. Um, like just let it rest, like literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not you. I'm just saying like him.
No, I
Like
get
it just yeah, it is hard to do that when you have like I mean, he's got to the point where he's tagging like random viewers because nobody cares. Like he's
Yeah.
literally finding
I
out
mean,
random like
he's
making it like literally impossible for me to
he
just
might
not
be in
address.
like some form of psychosis right now. I mean, I'm halfway convinced of it. I mean, I don't know if you saw this. He made almost a 10,000 character community post just about me that like talked about random like personal anecdotes I told him about and like just like insane shit.
Yeah.
Like the guy is, you know, not in any way stable. And like I understand, I certainly understand where you're coming from with wanting it to rest, you know.
Right. Yeah, and also, you know, as much as like, you know, while I do talk about situations, I would say I'm more of the mindset that you claim to have, you know, with like not going to like personal things, maybe more than it seems, because that's kind of my whole thing. Like, you know, even on my own streams and stuff, I don't get very personal. Like I'm not sitting here talking about my personal life. I'm not talking about like, you know, I'm not over here, hey guys, my birthday's coming up next month. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not getting here like personal details about even the smallest things. So, you know, believe me,
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
noticed.
not yeah,
What the
you
fuck
literally
does
ask me
that
in
mean, Ace?
DMs.
Don't say shit like that.
No, because I try to dude, this motherfucker, I try to ask him something as simple as what's your age? And he said, I don't talk about that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Like-
I'm a very private person despite
Sure.
like talking to a lot of people.
Sure.
And it's something that people like to disrespect. Not you know, not in your case. I'm just saying in general.
Right.
Yeah,
So like believe me
Ace.
when I tell you I'm like a big fan of like yeah, like keep shit to like, you know, the way we present ourselves and our actions. You don't gotta like
Sure.
dig into somebody as a fucking person to, you know, get something over on them. You know?
Sure.
So yeah. And yes, obviously I've done things I shouldn't have. And I don't regret the BBC incident. You know, but it is something that I shouldn't have done. You know, things like that.
I think some of that
that's
stuff
kinda-
is just like an optics thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you know,
Sure.
it looks a little bad after you do that to have said that like the majority of his audience is like children. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's obviously like intentionally framed to look like it was like a, oh wow, you have a bunch of kids. Here's a dick. Like obviously it wasn't that. You know what I mean?
Well, right, and that's why I say like I think it's an optics thing because I acknowledge and recognize that you said that whole thing about like the audience mostly being kids after you did the whole BBC thing, right?
I didn't even know that, but yeah, I believe it. I mean, because obviously it wasn't like, oh, you know, obviously it wasn't like a cause and effect. Like, oh wait, you got kids? Okay, let me do this. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Right. Well, and that's
So,
kind of
yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
that you did it in terms of like being like,
No.
oh, children? Okay. Like, I don't think you did that.
Right.
But it's like, I like the way that I would say it is like, it's an optics thing where it's like he kind of has, you know, what looks like an own on you when he has a clip of you saying the children
That's
thing
true, yeah.
and then he has the BBC incident clip, right?
True, but to that point also, you have to keep in mind like I made my one document like it was like Thanksgiving of last year, right? Like around there. And that was like the last like actual real like statement aside from like coming in these streams and talking to you guys when you ask me shit. I don't like defend myself. I don't put out statements. I don't attack him. But you know, when you have a guy who's so like hell-bent on spending like every second of his miserable life spreading misinformation, you can't really like put it behind you after a certain point, especially when again he's going to the point now where he's like not even doing it like broadly. He's like, I will target each individual member of your audience and personally message them. It's like at a certain point you can't really avoid it, you know. So
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
it's- yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so hope you could hop on my next 10-hour glass stream next.
Are you guys done with the glass streams at this point? Like
I
this
said
point-
earlier to one of my chatters who like hates the glass content because they were like, "Why are you fucking like this is Cole?" And I was like, "Listen, he's been hyping up this document for months.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna see what it's all about, and then unless like the guy, you know, unless something insane happens, like this guy like McJuggerNugget's a family of 5 or something, or sorry,
Yeah.
McSkillets. You know, I'm never talking about this dude again. I have no intention to talk about this guy again.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat.
You know, that reminds me, like that's kind of where I've been too. And then like the shit happened with the Lunastar girl, and I'm like, oh my god, like I kind of had to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you had to ask about his dick for 5 minutes. I get it.
I absolutely did. Also,
Yeah.
see,
You
I'm
talk
not
about
that
the guy's
interesting.
cock a
You're-
lot, man.
Dude, your chat is entirely dead because I'm speaking. I'm not that interesting. Like,
No,
me and
no,
you-
okay. It's also 1:30 and they're fucking like they're exhausted. We've been streaming for 7.5 hours. Okay, so
Right. I'm also not that interesting. Can you give me that at least? I don't think I'm that. Okay, I have a personality. Okay, I don't think digging into my personal life and like, not saying that you guys are doing it, but like the shit that he's trying to make interesting, I promise you, I don't think it's that interesting. I think I'm outside of like maybe a little silly sometimes. I don't think I'm that like interesting or weird of a person. I think I'm pretty normal. You
We'll
know what I
find
mean?
out.
we'll find
You're
out. Shut
I mean,
up.
what more is there to
Shut
dig,
up,
man?
dude.
What more?
Shut up.
Yeah, we'll see how that Milo Murphy stuff goes when that docket drops, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say in advance, if it's retarded, I had nothing to do with it. I'm just gonna say that. Right now.
Already
Sucks.
jumping
It's
ship.
not me. If it's not
Already
me,
jumping,
yeah.
already
Listen,
jumping ship.
if you
dude.
want actual like the gist of it, just watch my video. Like that's like the main points. I think the document just like supplements that and gives more like backing context to it. But the video
Sure.
does a good job of explaining everything if you're really curious on the situation.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm still gonna wait on the docket to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on the
Yeah,
doc
you guys,
just
you
because.
guys love your fucking documents.
Yeah, we live and breathe docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that.
They're great.
Yeah.
I got 2
Yeah.
documents to go over.
You guys
The
got
longer the
you guys
better.
got you guys got misinformation on those documents. We talked about it last time with the fucking shit with me and like OSI and Modulus and Celestius.
I never covered any of
Yeah.
that, to be clear. The only thing I covered Celestius wise was when you and I talked, the Timlo video, and then the 6 video. That's the only Celestius stuff I've covered.
Yeah, to be fair,
you-
I think that's what
That's all
Urghbla and I
Ace.
talked
Ace is
about
the one
last
that's
time he called
defaming
in.
you. Yeah, Ace is the one
You-
that's defaming you.
Thank God.
To be clear.
Do you guys know the op block?
Boy,
my
do I.
God. Yeah.
Why?
Dude,
Why do you ask?
That guy did a stream on me like months ago, screaming about how I'm a fucking retard because me and Celestius called OSI a predator, and I'm like watching this shit like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that guy tried to get my docs, so that's cool.
Okay.
And he
Yeah, that
also
guy-
like he got like fucking destroyed out of the community. Like he's like gone.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should actually hit him a DM being like, "What's up, little bro?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if he wanted to talk to me, I have him added, but we never like talked. I don't know. But yeah, listen, sometimes you guys with like the commentary stuff gets a little, you know, I guess because I'm involved in some of these cases or more, I guess a lot. Listen, if you guys touch VR chat, I'm going to be involved.
Of course.
That's kind of how it seems.
Yeah,
course.
like for example, right, Milo Murphy, I would probably ask you to call in, but for something
Yeah.
like the stream I'm doing Saturday, I realistically, I don't think you have much to do with Stronzina.
No, I don't.
Like,
Yeah. I plan on not being. I don't want to be involved with VR chat shit anymore. The shit's retarded. We got like we got some interesting stuff on the way that I've kind of hinted at a little to Ace. Did you look at my tweet, by the way?
I think I did, yeah.
How did you feel about it?
I personally didn't really like it when you doxed that random innocent guy, but you know,
There we go.
yeah.
Well, listen, it was just his first and last name. I didn't do his middle name, and
Yeah.
it was just a face
Not
picture.
a full docs. Not
Yeah.
a full docs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate.
Oh look, see, look, the guys, the chat is blaming me for that. By the way, I 100% co-signed everything. Holy shit! See what I mean?
See, I know nothing about any of this, so I'm not gonna try to assert any points. So
Yeah, no. Well, anyways,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, whatever. But that's my point, you know.
sure. No, I get it. I get it.
Right.
Yeah, the reason that was because you guys got like documents that like float around internally over there or something.
I mean, as I'm sure you do as well.
I don't. Nobody sends me documents, but you guys are like in the commentary stuff, so it's a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you got anything else for me, Urghbla, or like any other questions? Because otherwise, I'll let you go. I know you've been in here for a long time, which I appreciate.
Yeah, like nearly
Yeah,
2 hours.
not necessarily, but I will say again that I'm sorry that my rabid people were mean to you.
I mean,
I don't know why they did that
I don't
stuff.
give a fuck about them saying I'm a rapist or a pedophile. I get that on the daily, okay? And only half of it's true. That's a joke. But like the thing that obviously is going to bother me is them saying my full name, right? Like it's not that they were mean to me. It's that they were doxing my full name. That's the part that was, an issue. So
Yeah.
trust me, I'm totally fine with people being mean to me. I'm used to it, but.
Yeah, we're not gonna like find some community post in your server like, dude, Dox Templeton, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
By the way, this
deleted
guy's
all
full
of
name
those
is
after the server wipe. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You won't be able to find it anymore. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think everybody should, like I said, I'm a very wholesome person. I think that you should all go on to have a very lovely rest of your night.
Well, thank you.
It's good to look out the window, open the window a little bit, get some fresh air, as I always say.
Is that a
Maybe
threat?
not right now.
Are you coming to my viewers' houses? Is that what you're saying?
No comment.
I think you need to disavow
maybe
that.
not if in like the north part, like in New York or whatever. Maybe now isn't a good time to like breathe in the air with like the smoke and shit.
True. The sky was like fucking yellow today. It was terrible. Yeah.
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 Oh, you're in New York?
Yeah, I'm in Buffalo.
dude, he's halfway there.
Okay, nice. Me too.
Damn. There you
Oh
go.
shit, dude, he's gonna find you, Hamilton.
Dude,
After this.
oh
Are you
god.
actually?
Oh, yes, I'm in Buffalo. I didn't say that because I knew. I said it because I am. Yeah.
What the hell? That's weird as fuck, dude.
Yeah. You, me, and Glass, we could start a band together.
I know what you look like. I'm gonna like to see you someday. I'm not gonna say anything.
You might. Somebody
if
already
I-
has. I went to a card store and somebody said goodbye Hempleton to me, and it scared the fucking
That
shit
was
out
actually
of me.
Urghbla. That was-
No, it was a woman. It was a woman. It was not Urghbla.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
That's weird. You exist in like the real world. That's kind of
yeah,
strange.
I do. I'm a
If
real.
I ever see you, I don't know, man. You better watch your back. That's all I'm saying, man.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, well, I'm not too concerned. I'm okay. Yeah.
The fuck. Okay, that's really weird. All right. Anyway, well, I guess I'll let you guys go now then.
Okay.
Yeah, positive vibes for everybody. That's all.